What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Movement Mindset powered by Station Athletics. I'm Chris Hardenberg here with Dave Whitson. And today you might notice I have headphones on. I didn't address this in the other one we filmed. It's because I'm too loud, guys. So I got to hear myself, make sure I'm not yelling into the mic or laughing too loud.
So I'm not sure if you noticed, but Chris has a little bit of energy at times.
Yes. But speaking of trying to be soft and calm and reserved, we're going to be talking about sleep today.
Yes, we're going to focus on the evening and some ways to make it easier to go to sleep.
Yes. So
Right.
we're in the middle of the open as of filming this, and we thought it would be a good idea to talk about sleep and recovery to make sure you guys are maximizing those things. If this doesn't come out during the open, maximizing it for the rest of the year
Yes.
and for the rest of your life. So we're going to focus on the nighttime right now. I'm sure we'll do another podcast and go, hey, from wake up all the way through your day.
Yep.
It probably makes sense to do it that way. But right now, let's just focus on the night, as that can, if you can make some changes there, probably be your biggest bang for your buck, I would think.
Yeah, it's a good way to start so you get into a better rhythm and feel better when you wake up.
Yeah.
Because most people have a very hard time changing their morning routine because it involves sometimes change. Morning habits are hard to break because you wake up feeling tired and not wanting to do anything anyway.
Yeah.
That's usually how it's very hard.
So let me paint a picture for you, Dave. Let's say I'm a client, I come to you, and obviously there's a lot of it depends with this, right? But if you need to address someone's sleep, what is like the lowest hanging fruit? What's the first thing you're looking to talk about?
So the most bang for your buck is the gap between screen shut off and you go to sleep. And now for a lot of people, that's hard because people look at their phones in bed. I've even had people where like, well, I journal before I go to bed. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic. They were journaling on
On their
their phone. So here I am. I'm like, I don't know why. He journals for an hour before he goes to sleep. It's all on his phone or iPad. And I'm like, oh yeah, just lights right here in your face.
Yeah, 6 inches from your face.
Yeah. And so that period, and it's progressive overload, just like lifting weights or anything like that, or building up your aerobic capacity. It's pretty simple, but I would start with, hey, 10 minutes before you go to bed. Okay, did that for a week. Cool. Go to 15 or 20 and stretch it out because we have to layer a new habit over your current habit, which is zoning out on the infinity scroll of social media, YouTube, Netflix, wherever it is. And part of the reason we want to do this is because as our day goes on, our eyes are actually more sensitive to light. And so light at the end of the day wakes us up more than light at the beginning of the day.
Okay.
So it can mess you up, right? And even just a little bit of, because light will trigger kind of a cortisol, adrenaline dump, just a little bit of that you might go to bed, but you'll never necessarily hit deep sleep the way you need to.
Right.
I forget the exact numbers on it, but I think you want to hit that real deep sleep cycle 3 times a night.
Okay.
And I think it runs in 90-minute cycles. So if you mess up the beginning of that, you're in trouble. And that's part of that is actually alcohol too, because a lot of people have a glass of wine or whiskey or
After like a tough day or something. Yeah.
And what I've realized is that when someone pours for themselves, it's like 2 glasses at a time. And so it turns out that alcohol might make you feel sleepy, but it also can restrict you from ever hitting deep sleep.
Right.
And it looks like even with all my friends that take medicinal marijuana and different stuff like that, it looks like that might do the same thing too.
Which makes sense.
So it's this, there's some interesting habits where, oh, I just go on my phone until I feel sleepy, but you don't get good rest. And so the lowest hanging fruit is to start adding a different habit onto your nighttime routine. And whether that's reading, listening to a podcast, not staring at your screen, listening to a book. For me, I used to be like, hey, I want you to start brushing your teeth 25 to 30 minutes before you go to bed, listening to a book or whatever, and then put away the last little bit of stuff from the day and take out your clothes for the morning. And by the time you lay in bed, you'll probably feel a little tired. And then you can start stretching that out. Because a lot of people don't read books anymore. I personally like feeling a physical book, but it's just hard to get back into the habit. But that little half hour to 45-minute window before you actually close your eyes is probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah. And so I think that's a great idea is like, I mean, we do it with training and coaching, right? It's like, all right, hey, you're not used to working out, come twice a week. Start 2-3 times per week. Let's not get crazy. Okay, cool. You've been coming twice a week. What are you doing outside of those workouts? Awesome. Let's try to get walking or something in like that. Great. Now let's come in 3 times per week. So it's the same thing sounds like it's the same thing with that. It's like, all right, you're used to going from, it might even be as simple as like, hey, you're used to answering emails until bed. Well, all right, maybe we put the computer away. You can watch TV until bed. It's not as good, but you're not like as mentally
Really into it,
acute
yeah.
because you're not working, right? JJ said off air, it's like, during what you said, like during COVID, it's tough because like you start to do homework and stuff in your room, right?
Yeah, during prime COVID, so I was a freshman in 2020 in college. That's when everything was online. Everything's in your dorm room. So it's
Mhm.
where I sleep, it's where I eat, it's where I do work. It's just like I'm always in that space and I'm always just looking at my computer screen for literally everything. There's no physical papers, there's no like
Hmm.
in-person stuff.
Yeah.
So everything I do, my teacher, my meetings, homework, like,
Your
everything,
meals,
it's right in
everything.
front. Yeah, it's right in front of my computer.
Kind of layering the habit with the habit and starting to peel back some of those layers. Would you say another good thing to do, piggybacking off of what JJ said,
Yeah.
is to make like, all right, my bedroom is just for, and my bed specifically is just for sleeping. I'm not eating. I'm not
Yeah, like,
playing video
Nas
games.
and I forever, we never had a TV in our bedroom. Like, we refused to have a TV in our bedroom because then it's like, boop, you
Yeah.
go. And for Nas, that was huge because she used to fall asleep with the TV on, which is also terrible. It's way worse than people realize. Part of the reason why this is a big deal for me, besides I've had up and downs with sleep, like I had years where I used to wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Brutal.
Yeah. And so like it messed me up hormonally. And so it turns out, makes sense, sleep, since it's your recovery and rebuild period for your body, if that's not well, it affects almost every mechanism in your body, from blood pressure to way higher risk of cardiac incidents, as well as depression, anxiety, suicidality, all of it. We talked about dementia,
Yeah.
right? All those things all go up the worse your sleep is. And also your ability just to learn decreases
Yeah.
dramatically. And so you can, no matter what your goal is, working on your sleep for a lot of people I know is a bigger priority than actually working out,
Oh,
because
100%.
otherwise working out, you're not recovering.
Yeah.
And so you're just putting your head in the wall for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it benefits every area of your life, but we just have such a hard time for some reason because we have too many distractions.
Yeah.
We just have distractions.
All right. So we went from limiting screen time. The second thing we talked about was almost like making that sacrosanct. Like I'm not doing anything
Yeah.
other than getting dressed, sleeping, whatever, in my bedroom, in my bed. So those are two good actionable items. What would be something else that maybe you say, okay, hey, once we've started to tap into some of those things, what's maybe the next thing you would look at?
So we built somewhat of a habit or a pattern, but having more of like a ritual that you stick to.
Okay.
So the since we go to the gym, right? Station athletics, we all have a ritual we do before we pick up a barbell,
Yeah.
whether or not you realize it. I'll talk about Nas, my wife. When she's about to do a heavy lift, I can impersonate exactly what she's going to do because I've seen her do it so many times. But what it does is it shuts off your brain and sets you into a pattern and a routine.
Hmm.
It shuts off all other thoughts. Like, you ever see, what's the baseball movie with Kevin Costner? I know there's a few of them where he's like clearing the mechanism and the whole crowd disappears so he can pitch.
Okay.
So we have to create a ritual that helps clear all the other distractions and things. And so then you start having a nightly routine that we can build up.
Yeah.
And it sounds kind of funny, but the bigger, not the bigger, I guess the longer that routine gets, the further we get away from screen time. So like for me, I'm pretty good at like, I'm going to go to bed and it's like brush my teeth, do a couple things. And I'm like, I'm out. Nast has a 45, 60-minute routine.
Yeah.
She just does. But that's what she needs to clear the mechanism and to not have any of that screen time, right? And to get those things away. That's what works for her.
Right.
And so we start building out a routine that not only gets you away from screen time or away from the things that are going to keep you up, but also gets you, clears any type of lingering anxiety or stress from the day,
Yes.
wherever that happens to be.
Which is huge because if you have that on your mind, like you could do all these things, but if you don't find a way to clear the stress of what happened during the day or what you need to do the next day, you're
Yeah.
not going to fall asleep anyways.
Yeah. So if you get stressed and cortisol rises, why am I forgetting what the sleep hormone is?
Melatonin.
Melatonin doesn't go.
Right.
They inhibit each other, right? And that's part of the reason why like caffeine later in the day isn't great, because it raises cortisol and it raises adrenaline, so melatonin doesn't go up.
Yep.
And then we're in this vicious cycle because we wake up really tired, and then there we go. We're just in the routine.
We're just going to do this for the rest of my life until I die.
Yeah. 'Cause well, we talked about this a little bit before too. We're like, there's this weird thing where there's pride in being tired.
Yeah.
And
It's like
it's
I'm
like-
tough because I'm tired and I'm doing all this stuff.
they've done massive research on Navy SEALs because they do so much sleep deprivation
Yeah.
and how to get back to sleep. And one of the things the guy talked about, there's a couple of really good podcasts after we listen to them. So then I can regurgitate it and then eventually take it as myself. Where the guy was like, he goes, well, because people are like, oh, I got 6 hours. And so the guy goes, well, if I take the number of people that could function well on 6 hours of sleep and I round it to a whole number, the percentage of people is 0%. And she gave us, so it's funny, but it's also sad.
Yeah.
Like you would actually have more joy in life and be able to accomplish more and be able to adapt to the stress of the day more if you just changed one
Yeah.
thing to get to bed better. You wouldn't be as angry at your kids. For me, I wouldn't get frustrated with taking care of my father. Like
Right.
that, I know I'm messing up my sleep when I'm not as emotionally in control.
Yeah. Yep.
If I'm emotionally out of control, sleep. Because
Yeah.
guess what? Mood is regulated by it. Vitamin D and sun, mood regulation too.
Yeah.
And it's all related to sleep.
It's like, you ever see that like video? It's like the two kids, the girl's crying and the brother goes like, did you take a nap today? And she's like, no. And he's like, you need one.
Yeah. Well, like little kids, like, oh man, they missed their nap.
Yeah. Oh
Bad
yeah.
mood.
Brutal.
We're the same way. We
Yeah.
just pretend like we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, we wanted to keep this one short and tactical, give you some 3 quick actionable items you guys can
Mhm.
implement right now. We'll do another one on sleep where we'll kind of do like a deep dive
Oh yeah.
for the nerds out there that want to learn as much of it as possible. But again, with the open going on right now and most people looking for recovery, whether it's during the open or if this airs after the open, people just looking to feel better in general.
Mhm.
We want to give you some 3 quick tactical items that you guys could work on right away. And then from there, guys, I would encourage you to start to incorporate what Dave talked about, but leverage for the people at our gyms, leverage your general managers, right? Talk to them about maybe some different tactics or leverage on that. Just use them for support as you go to make some changes. So yeah, put these things into place so you guys can feel better. And as always, guys, please like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Instagram. Give us a 5-star rating on the podcast platform you listen on. Couldn't say that today. But as always, we'll see you at the gym.